We have more for your ears only. I'm David Alpern.
I'm Melissa Exelberth with a quote from the news. I finally have a diagnosis and am now focused on getting better and returning to the court soon. That was Venus Williams on withdrawing from the U.S. Open after learning that her fatigue and joint pain resulted from an autoimmune disease called Sjogren's syndrome. Now this.
I mean, there's these terrible lies that are spread that I did things to POWs, that I caused them to be tortured, that I turned them in, betrayed, all of these things that go on. It's gone on since the end of the 90s. No one quite knows who's behind it, but it keeps hate alive, and that makes me very sad.
The past is always with us, they say, but for some of us more than others. As recently as this past July, Oscar-winning actress Jane Fonda, promoting another memoir, found herself bumped by the QVC cable shopping channel after angry calls from critics of her anti-Vietnam War activities, or more correctly, a cruel distortion of them, as she explained on the Diane Rehm public radio show last month. But the past Fonda cannot escape also includes her mother's suicide, her famous actor father Henry's coldness, her Barbarella sex kitten phase, many real-life liaisons, and later reputation as an insensitive wielder of wealth and power, albeit often for good causes.
The new Fonda book in question is the self-helpish primetime, Love, Health, Sex, Fitness, Friendship, Spirit, Making the Most of All of Your Life from Random House. More revealing of the multifaceted star herself is Jane Fonda, The Private Life of a Public Woman by veteran biographer Patricia Bosworth, just out from Houghton Mifflin Harcourt. And to talk about it for your ears only, we're pleased to have Patty Bosworth with us now. Welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you for having me on this hurricane day.
You and Fonda were actually students together at the Actors Studio in the 1960s before you went into writing. What was your strongest impression of her at that time?
That she was wired, that she was, almost out of her body in terms of being tense and scared and very vulnerable, always very polite. But my first impression was that, and also how ravishingly beautiful she was.
I gather she put off your request for help with your book until she needed help with her own. Talk about that and what access she finally permitted.
Well, it wasn't that she needed help per se. I mean, what happened was she decided she wanted to have a biography written by a woman, a biography about her written by a woman. There had been 9 biographies, all written by men, and she felt they'd been threatened by her. And also, she knew my writing. I'd written about her a lot over the years after I left acting and became a journalist. And I told her I wanted to do a cultural history because I feel she really reflected the times, and all that interested her very much. In terms of help, what she wanted me to do when I visited her ranch was to look through her FBI files, or 22,000 pages. She needed another pair of eyes. She actually was looking for something very specific, which neither one of us found, which was hopefully some evidence that the FBI or the CIA had literally stolen a film that she'd made when she was in Hanoi, documenting the bombing of the dikes.
Well, talk about being haunted by the past, just the way children of alcoholics often tie up with other alcoholics because the sensation is so familiar. Some see many of Fonda's relationships repeating the cool one with her father. Talk about the evidence on that score, especially the cruelty of her second husband, the political activist Tom Hayden.
Oh, well, that was really something. I mean, her father, Henry Fonda, was a detached, cool, never told her he loved her. I mean, my whole book is really a study of a woman struggling to be acknowledged and affirmed, and everything that Jane has tried to do in her life, I think, was in part to prove to her father that she could be loved, but she repeated this kind of relationship with every man that she married, and many of her lovers too, men who were cool and detached, and often very cruel to her. Tom Hayden, it turned out, was the cruelest of all, which was really almost paradoxical, because at the same time, I think they really loved each other very much, and I think he taught her a lot and gave her a great deal in terms of knowledge about politics and really, I think, educated her in many ways. But he was a kind of father figure, an authority figure, and she was used to that, and it was a habit with her, and she needed to have that kind of relationship. She was just so used to it, she could never break that kind of pattern, which, as you say, is sort of almost like an alcoholic's pattern, of needing to repeat over and over again the same kind of relationship.
Did playing roles to please men, beginning with her father, help make Fonda the award-winning actress she became?
Oh, well, that's also very interesting because I think to me, one of her greatest performances, well, maybe her greatest performance is as Bree, the call girl in Clute, and in that role, she was able to play all the roles that she played for her father and for other men in her life. The scared little girl, the sexy vixen, and I think in a way, yes, I think her role playing in life helped her as an actress.
Talk about her subsequent search for purpose and what you call authenticity.
Well, I think she really did find it very completely in her activism, in her philanthropy, in her anti-war activities, the protests that she made against the war. This kind of woke her up to another reality in life. She told me she thought it made her a better actress, but it also made her aware of other people and other things in life, and it made her feel that maybe she could make a difference. And of course, her fame was a kind of power. Brando told her that, use your fame because it's powerful, because people listen to you when you're famous. And I think that too gave her a sense of purpose. Also, her fundraising abilities are phenomenal. She's raised millions of dollars for very, very worthy causes. I think that also gives her a sense of purpose.
To what degree do you see Fonda as a reflector and shaper of women's changing place in our culture?
I think that, she's made many transformations, but I think her transformation or invention of herself as a kind of an exercise guru is as close as you can get to the authentic Jane Fonda, because it's in fitness there is freedom. That's what she believes, and her workout tapes and her books, which she's very proud to have made. She made a fortune. Have been very important to women, and I think she really feels that is what she has given to women. Telling them, teaching them to care and nurture their bodies. I really believe this is what she feels has been, kind of her philosophy.
Veteran biographer Patricia Bosworth's new book is Jane Fonda, The Private Life of a Public Woman, from Houghton Mifflin Harcourt.
Next, when more is much too much for your ears only.